Hey there. So today we are going to solve another LeetCode problem named text justification. It's hard level and goes like this. Given an array of strings words and a width maxWidth, format the text such that each line has exactly maxWidth characters and is fully left and right justified. You should pack your words in a greedy approach. That's it, pack as many words as you can in each line. Add extra spaces when necessary so that each line has exactly maxWidth characters. Extra spaces between words should be distributed as evenly as possible. If the number of spaces on a line does not divide evenly between words, the empty slots on the left will be assigned more spaces than the slots on the right. For the last line of text, it should be left justified, and no extra space is inserted between words. Note: a word is defined as a character sequence consisting of non-spaces characters only. Each word's length is guaranteed to be greater than 0 and not exceed maxWidth. The input array words contains at least one word. And there are some examples here showing exactly the output described in the task. Also, one of the examples clarifies that if somewhere in the middle we have a string with only one word, it should be also left justified. So let's start to work on our problem by creating the result variable, an array of strings, which we are going to fulfill in some kind of cycle while iterating through all the words inside the input argument. So we are going to try to put as many words as we could to each line. So let's create some kind of next string words array. We are going to put the words here first before generating the string itself, because at the moment of going through some particular word, we don't know exactly how many spaces we are going to put between the words. Also, we are going to have some kind of next string count, the expected length of the string. Initially it is 0. And well, let's try to estimate the new string count at some particular moment of cycle. So if the next string count is empty, then of course the expected new length of the string is going to be the words count. Otherwise, well, we are going to use the previous length of the string. We are going to add at least one space between these string and the new word, and then we would also add the word count. Let's check if the new string count fits inside the maxWidth. So if new string count is less or equal to maxWidth, then it is all right. We can just add the word to the new string words. And as for the new string count, well, we just are going to assign a new value to that. Else it means that, well, we are not able to fit this word to this line anymore. And we need to create some kind of sub-result in the string from these words. Let's say that we are going to have some kind of generate string method here. Let's even define it. Yeah, and we are now able to append the string to our result. and let's check what's going on with our new string words. For the next line, we are going to put our word which didn't fit to the previous line, and also we are going to change the next string words count to the words count. Right? Finally, when we are out of this cycle, we have the last string to generate. We have our new string words, which we could just join together. With an empty space, and we should also follow it by some string which is going to contain only empty spaces, and the number of these empty spaces is the maxWidth minus the next string count, right? The size of this string. Finally, the result could append this last string, and we could return the result. Nice. So let's get back to our generate string method and create the string per each line. So we are going to use the array of words to generate this line, and we are going also to use the maxWidth here as well. We would need some kind of variable string, and we could put the first word from the words array to this variable, because at least it should be left justified in any case. So how many spaces we are going to put to this line? We need to reduce the maxWidth by the length of all the words inside the words array. We could reiterate through all the words here, but to be honest, let's just do it in the outside cycle and provide it as an argument here. So we would need the combined words length, so it's going to be integer and it's going to be equal to 0 at the beginning. When we append the new word to the array, we are going to increase that variable by word count, and when we are starting the new line, then we are going to put the word count to the word's length. Alright, now let's use all these arguments over here. So the words is going to be the new string words to be used, and the maxWidth is going to be the maxWidth. Okay, so now we are able to just reduce maxWidth by the word's length, and this is exactly the amount of spaces which we're going to put to this line. So how many gaps are we going to have? So it is the words count minus 1. So if the gaps are equal to 0, it means that there are no gaps and there is only one single word staying at this line. In this case, we are able to just follow our string with the empty spaces, and the amount of these empty spaces, we've already calculated it, it's the spaces count. If no, then let's calculate the gap size between the words. So we're going to divide the spaces count by the amount of gaps. this works, but well, we need to also remember that we could have some remainder from this division. So some kind of additional spaces to spare, which according to the task we need to spare between the left side gaps. So the size of the regular gap is going to be equal to gap size, and the size of the big gap is going to be the size of gap size plus 1. All right. So, and finally, we are able to start iterating from the second element to the last one. We would need to have some gap, and at each iteration we are going to increase our string with that gap, follow it by the word standing at this exact index. So what is this gap? If we have some additional spaces to spare, then the gap is going to be the big gap. And we're going to reduce the additional spaces by 1. Yeah, let's make it plural, additional spaces. Otherwise, the gap is going to be the regular gap, and we're going to use it as is. Finally, let's return our result, the string, and try to compilate the solution. So we have some issues over here. Oh yeah, the naming. Right, so it works. Let's now submit our solution. Nice, nice. So as you see, it beats 100% of other submissions because it basically stays on the edge of the threshold, and it shows that it is executed in 0 milliseconds. Yeah. So that's it for today. If you'd like to see me solving another problems on the LeetCode, then put your request to the comment sections, and see you next time. Cheers!